Southwest 1.
All right, is it working? All right, is it working over?
Yes.
All right, let me check a few controls. Okay, I think we're good there, and I need to check something else, and then, assuming we are good to go. Oh, there's no RE meter. Hold on.
And I have some an early check-in when you're ready.
All right, I think the meter is now working, kind of working. Okay, I am ready for maybe if the foot switch is working. I'm ready for early check-ins.
61 wanted to check in a while ago, and he says hi.
Okay, that's. Let me get official here. Let me see if the jingle singers are ready. That's the Dean. Sometimes I'm sitting in the chair and sometimes I'm not, so I don't hear everybody that needs to check in.
Find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
Oh.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
How did they get so loud all of a sudden? All right, the Old Tube Radio Network. And I'm checking my levels once again. And you can check them all you want, but they never seem to stay the same for some reason. All right, the Old Tube Radio Network. Let me go ahead and get the early check-ins. We've got a radio up there. Let's get rid of the radio. We will have the radios coming up. Over to the check-ins, we've got 61. Thanks for that. Who else would like to get in early before we get officially started here?
195.
Up the hill, 195. Hello, Jim. I am clicking on the item of interest, and there it is. You are official over.
Thank you, sir.
And I thought I heard Tony in there as well. 145, so I'll get Tony in.
Yeah, Dennis, it's Tony 145 course gold. Yeah, just got back yesterday and kind of wiped out still. I would like an early check-in, please.
Okay, not a problem. Glad you are back. Stay warm out there, and we've got you checked in over.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good show.
No, is it just my imagination, or are there more wires dangling in my way? And I'm being reminded that we are on the first week. That's right, this is the new 8-week roster. I'm looking and the page doesn't have any check-ins on it, and I am supposed to, you have something for me, all right? Hold on. You know, it always takes me a while to get set up in the chair, and I have to stand up. All right. Thank you, Chad. We have the 00 canister here. And looks like, these are all nicely written this time. Oh, and there is is this a bribe? Who's that? Charlie's pointed to Chet. Jet's pointing to Charlie. All right. I don't know. I got M&Ms in there. Any other early check-ins before we do the 00 thing here?
Breaker.
The breaker, go ahead, over.
Yeah, you got the legend checking in, number 53. Good evening there, Dennis.
And hello, Bob, Mr. Bel Air. 53 is now checked in, over.
Thank you, sir. 73. Take care. Have a good night.
All right. They're saying I should draw the number before I check people in because they could be 00. Well, they'll just be checked in already if I do that. All right, and it's very Christmassy. Whose idea was this? Again, Jet's pointing to Charlie. Charlie's pointing to Chet. All right. Well, there's no cookies. There was M&Ms in there, so I just pull them out. All right. We're going to try see who is the 00. This is the people that had perfect attendance last 8 weeks gets. I like these write-ups. Who's responsible for this? I can actually read the. Oops, just one. They're very tiny. They're very hard to. Oops. Let's try this again. All right, one only. All right. I like that. Who did this? Chet's pointing to Charlie. Charlie pointing to Chet. All right. No, nobody. It's like Family Circus. It's like Billy on Family Circus. It's like not me. All right. The new 00 is. Can I get this on the less than stellar camera? If I were I to be able to find it, let's see if this works. It would be this one right here. Yeah, look at that. Gary in SWL 28 in Sacramento. You are the 00. I like the printing. I can actually see this. I will put it right there, and I'll make a note of that. So, Gary, if you are out there, we will get you checked in and checked in. Now, I'm asking Santa Claus for Christmas. I need about 3 more monitors here so that I can do this without having stuff all over the place. Okay, I think and Gary's Gary. Hello, everyone. 28 checking in and going to enjoy the program with some hot chocolate and cherry pie. Oh, that sounds good. I've got my M&Ms. As you know, you are also 00 for the next 8 weeks. And he's making tamales for the holidays. So, Gary, you are a busy guy. And sounds like everything is good. I bet the QTH, as we say in Citizen Band Radio, smells really good there tonight with all the cooking and cherry pie and tamales going on. All right, I think I am ready. 00 is checked in. We've got the cosmic check-in for SWL1, and people have noted, as have I, that Mr. OBP is absent tonight, or at least at now. He might be at a. I kind of think a lot of people in the next week or two are going to be out at Christmas, company Christmas parties and Christmas functions and gatherings. So, might have a lot of late check-ins or proxy check-ins, and that is okay, no problem there. So I will get, speaking of proxy check-ins, I will do that for SWL number 2 and also Rob, SWL number 3. And there is Neil. Let me get you checked in, because I often, your musings scroll across my screen and then I can no longer find them. And it's good that you are here in the air chair. I guess it's late there, though. I was thinking you might, I saw a cartoon about somebody saying, "Oh, it's finally December," and then they remembered that they're a musician. And I guess that's what December means. You're going to be playing in every festivity band and Christmas thing and all that. So that's a good thing at the corner. So we've got you checked in. What is going on with you, Carolina? There's a storm. Oh, storm's coming in. Yeah, there's some tornadoes and high winds. I had some pictures of Lawrence, Kansas, with things blowing all around. So anyway, let me hop up, and you are checked in from the Sand Hills of Carolina. We are heading over to SWL 5. Levon. Was Levon out? I thought he was out on Old Radio Night tonight, where it was the wannabe, it was a Browning. Couldn't make up his mind whether it was a 2 or a 3 or both.
Check Levon in.
Jack Levon, I will do that. All right. I thought I saw him, so he gets an X. Thanks for that. SWL7.
SWL7 checking in.
All right. Sounding good, and I hope things are not overly busy out that way, but you are sounding good, and I've got the X in the square.
Thank you.
And the skip went away early tonight. So will we have a repeat of last week where we had the nice check-ins from Arizona and Nevada and Idaho? I don't know. We will find out. Speaking of Idaho, let's go to shortwave listener 10. Chrissy is right there, 10 and 30 checking in. The Dolphins are jumping. I don't know how hard is it to find a dolphin? I say dolphin. It could be a whale. And I said dolphin. How hard is it to find a dolphin in Idaho? Do you have one of those sea park things, where you go and they make the sharks jump through hoops? That's probably where you would find a dolphin. Here on the West Coast, it's a little easier. We'll head out to the ocean. Let's go to Cornbread. Hello. Yes, looking dapper. Feeling dapper, SWL 11 and 12, Mr. Cornbread and Dapper Dan. I'm going to give Dapper Dan some competition, because I actually did a good job on tying the tie tonight. The seersucker suit has been pressed. The pocket protector is perfectly inserted, so I'm out for you, 12. I'm looking for you. I don't like being number 2 all the time. But thanks for checking in. Let's go to SWL 13, Mr. Cobra. And I need to go over to my yet another page here and close a window and see who's joining us. That bonk, that noise reminds me that we are. Okay, the Echolink link is up. So if you want to check in with that. Starting from the balcony tonight, hello to Centerville, Virginia, Chantilly, Virginia as well, Newcastle, Virginia. Virginia, is there a party up there? Is it the Virginia QSO party up in the balcony tonight? I don't know. Middletown, Ohio, Plymouth, Minnesota, hello to Fresno, Toledo, Ohio, Bowling Green, Kentucky. Is that Mr. Van Man? We will get you checked in. More Fresno. A lot of people listening from Fresno. Am I getting out? When I see all the Fresno stations, I wonder if they have to listen to me because they can't hear me. Hans is up here in the front. Did you get the special ticket? I think that's where they're giving out the. I think that's where the M&Ms are here, up in the front. That's Hans is getting his. You like the peanut? Yeah, they gave me the regular ones. So. Belfast, Maine, of course, right here with the Derby, New York, with the Q cards, and Los Angeles is the top thing. Where am I? I'm supposed to be in there somewhere. Directed net roll call, the old Tube Radio Network. My name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers to sit in the air chair. We are on channel 1127.085. If you're tuning in or wondering where we are at, we do this most Saturdays every week of the year since, I don't know, 1986, and a while back we started doing the audio stream and the video stream, and people join us from far and wide. People join us here locally, the shortwave listeners, and you don't have to have a radio number. Just come on along and join in the sound and the demeanor of what CB radio might have been back in the day when that tube radio was brand new. I know this suit was brand new at that time as well. SWL 13. Oh, I didn't know. I went over there to check to see if Mike had checked in on the big screen. And there he is. He's standing by. All right. Michael, I will put the official X right there. Let's head over to Sanger for SWL 14. Now put a hold on Sangertown. He might be at a holiday function. Right here, as Motormouth Mall would say, right here, right now. Alpha 173 from Copenhagen, Denmark. Hans from his engagement over at Old Radio Night and here at the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for joining us this morning. It is early. The sun is maybe going to come up where he's at. Well, it is going to come up. Maybe it hasn't come up yet. I'm not trying to predict a terrible future here. The sun will be coming up. SWL 16, Charlie, thank you. Is this yours? You're not fessing up? All right. I will. I don't know. Well, I'll sneak a few when we're on the radio pictures. You are checked in. Beautiful Anoka, Minnesota. Let's go to SWL 17. SWL 18. I've been told to get a check-in for Mr. KDA off of Facebook. I will do that. Doing a great job on the cue cards tonight, as always. You know, I'm thinking this is your. You have the best handwriting and printing, so that's why you're, that's why Chet gets to do the cue cards. But I'm thinking, look at this. Where is the lesson seller camera? That's easily readable. You probably put that in the OTR computer. Anyway, thanks. I like that. Let's go, and you are checked in beautiful Derby, New York, wherever you are. I don't know. Let's go to SWL 20.
Number 20 checking in. Also check in 29 and 54. And we'll talk to you later.
All right, 22.9 and 5.4, and like they say on Gilligan's Island and the rest. Sounding good, Harvey. Glad to have you in the air chair and not driving around. It's too cold to be driving around out there. So get your hot chocolate and join us, won't you, for the best tube radios this side of somewhere, this side of the Yosemite National Park. We are heading. Oh, it's the big audio. Let me crank up, see if I've got the. I've got a special control, believe it or not, for Old Radio Night. I'm going to bring it up here. It looks like they're still running live, or else this is a tape. No, something is going on Old Radio Night.
Get my truck. I'll see you later, crazy man.
Crazy man is out there. Oh, you know what? I don't have a video.
Number 3, where you at?
For Old Radio Night, but I can make that happen. So let me.
Number 3, where you at?
He's checking people in. I notice you don't hear any skip on Old Radio Night. You hear all the good locals. There it is.
No, I won't see where he's at. I'll get.
And tonight he's on the Browning Mark II, Mark III. I think it was made as a Mark II, and it identifies as a Mark III. But there it is, sounding good. The Nixie tube clock, the on-the-air light, the microphone. You know, Mr. JT has all the gadgets necessary for doing a video. I'm gonna take some notes from Mr. DD21 and see if I can improve things around here. You are checked in, Mr. JT from the Wasama Swamps. And we are going to head. We're not having the skip conditions that I hoped for. So in that case, we will head over to the Echo link and see if we can't get Alpha Kilo 295. I think Tyler's up on Echo Link here. See if we can get a check-in from the Far Out Alaska station, KB6GFD. Go ahead, Tyler. I think he's.
Well, hopefully this thing's working, Dennis. Good evening to you. Looking good. Sounding good as usual. KL5 Tango Whiskey. Computer's updating, so hopefully this thing is not cutting out on me. I have no idea what it's doing. But hopefully it's working. Back to you, Dennis.
It is working fine. The audio is good. I think sometimes it's my computer is perhaps the issue. Well, we got you checked in on the Echo link. Be listening. We had some conditions last week, but wasn't long enough. But you just never know. They were hearing us in Colorado as well. So Rob was hearing us there too. Thanks for stopping by, and hopefully it's not getting too cold up there. Over. Oops, I gotta undo it. All right, there we go. You can't take a transmission unless the guy stops transmitting.
You're doing like I do.
Yeah.
No, it's not cold. It's we're still in the 20s and 30s and little light snow today. So we're holding out. It's pretty good weather. You know, a couple more months. Hey, we'll be back to summertime. We hope. We can hope. Nope, all's good. KL5 Tango Whiskey, back to you.
All right, 73, and thanks for checking in. KB6GFD. All right, good to hear Tyler on the Echo Link system. Where are we going next? Over to appropriately named 23 Skidoo, and he's checking in from the Surfing Santa competition. Where there's been a tragic beard tangling incident, and Rudolph has been disqualified. There's always something every year that sort of puts a damper over the Surfing Santa competition. Albeit if it's not for the weather, it's something else. I do have a note here that I think Espresso Trucking Company is going to be joining us next week here in the studio, so we better get decorated, because no doubt they will have some Christmas musical fare sounding good, and maybe they can do a retake on the surfing Santas. And Rudolph always has these problems. They should maybe have Comet or Donner or Blitzen head that thing next year. Looking good, Mitch. Glad to have you aboard here on the Old Tube Radio Network. And I see Chrissy. Wait a minute, Chrissy. I'm going to scroll back. There's a recipe going on. So grab your writing devices if you have the chat window up. And what are we doing? I want to see. Brownie cookies. All right, for some brownie cookies. So I will get that recipe, because I like brownies and I like cookies, and I can make that kind of stuff. That's easy stuff. And there's probably not chili beans in the brownie cookies, so I know I will eat them. Let me go to Brown Dog Audio. SWL57 wants to check in early. Company Christmas party this evening. Yeah, there's a lot of Christmas parties, and between the good food, good friends, good laughs, they're all exhausted. So good night, right? There's another good. So we've got Brown Dog Audio 57 checked in. Thanks for stopping by. Let's go to thanks for Central Kentucky. Let's go to SWL 24.
24 checking in.
All right, Joseph, you are looking good on the list here. We've got the X in the square. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network. Yeah, a lot of company. So that's okay. That's where these came from. We're having the company, such that it is the little company. Although we had one last week, and you said we're going to have one next week. So I guess we're having one every Saturday night for the rest of the month's little party here at the Old Tube Radio Net Control. 24 is checked in. Let's go to. I got to keep this up here. Radio. Who's next? SWL 25. Oh, and I will get Jerry checked in. I saw the Facebook. They are playing, I think, a new venue tonight. The Donnie Reb Band is at some kind of swanky, fancy venue tonight. So maybe some of you are out there. That's why you're not here tonight, but that's okay. Radio Randy, hello. I see you, Randy. As you can hear, it is very, very quiet here on the west coast for any type of skip, but it might open up. It just doesn't. The band doesn't have that sound. It's very quiet. So Randy's doing some nice wideband ESSB audio with the crew on the 75 meters. Where are you guys at? 30, way down there, 3715 with the Anonboy. So anybody interested in the SDR hi-fi audio, and you are probably in the West Coast, because I don't think you'll hear on the Midwest. You might try it. 3715, 3.715 megahertz on your 75 meter, 80 meter radio. So we'll get an early check in for Randy, who might surprise us like he did last week with a live check-in if the band changes. All right, thanks, Randy. Let's go page 2, SWL 27.
the FM crossband.
All right, I always forget that when you're on, oops, I also forget a lot of things. I always forget when you're on the FM crossband, I have to be transmitting so that everyone in the universe can hear you, and then I have to make sure I'm transmitting and then grab this microphone so that you can hear me as well. It's a good thing. I hope you are not freezing out in Studio G.
Now it's a little cool out here in Studio G, but I have one burner on Mr. Heater on. Oops.
I'll feed that
Staying warm anyway.
All right, that is the thing. We're actually, well, all of a sudden I've got a lot of audio here. We're actually getting what seems to be like December weather all of a sudden. So anyway, you were sounding good, and thanks for remembering the Saturday night place to be.
All right, Dennis, thanks. AI6QEL.
All right, KB6GFD.
Whoa, stereo. K6US Live.
I know, that is kind of strange. Let me see if I've got my... all of a sudden, I'm going to move over to the... I'm showing that I'm putting a lot of audio energy into the Universal Media NetWeb. So I'm not going to adjust anything, but if you're listening... Our viewers at home, if you're listening, I apologize for the audio levels all of a sudden being very loud, but hopefully they're even, so you can make an adjustment. So I will see what happens, because they were not loud earlier, and I turned things up, and I knew that was a mistake. Okay, directed net roll call. 27 is in. 28 is in yet again. Hello, Gary. The 2-for-1 going on through the rest of 2023. In Sacramento Town. Also a proxy check-in for Mr. Loner and a check-in for SWL30, who is going to try his darndest to check in a radio tonight where the conditions to be allowable for that. SWL31, SWL32, shortwave listener 33, myself and all the crew here, and Bozo Control honking the proboscis. Shortwave listener 34 would be Mr. Jimmy, Railroader, and Captain Chaos. I'll get an X in the square for Jimmy, who may be by, were he not to be busy and late. It's late out there, so get a check in there. Alpha Kilo 295 saying, I've got, Tyler, I've got no snow on the trees out here. And were there to be snow, that would be a very unusual thing. About once in every 20 years or so, down here in the valley, which is where we're at about 300 feet, we will get a dusting, or maybe more of a dusting of snow. But I don't know if we're predicting anything like that. We haven't had any super cold temperatures for that. But you never know. And we'll be the first to see it if it happens on a Saturday evening. Let's go to SWL35. I did see Mr. Bill checking in, Red Monkey Communications from cool Cheyenne. He doesn't say anything about snow going on there, but I know it is certainly cool. Let's see, who else is checking in? Alex is in Nineland, Quebec, India, Whiskey. From Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland, outside of the blast zone, known as Chicago. Well, we just checked in Jimmy from out that side. So the Chicagoland group listening in. Good to have you along. And I don't know, maybe I'll get on 40 meters tonight after the net at 11 o'clock our time. So what's that your time? Like 2 in the morning. A lot of times when I get on the bands that late, I'm hearing Wisconsin, Indiana. Maybe we'll hear Chicago on a long distance 40 meter stuff tonight on the bands, but that's going to be pretty early in the morning. Let's go to SWL 36. Shortwave listener 37.
37 here, Dennis, and good evening.
And good evening. Hello, radio. You are sounding good tonight, over.
Well, thank you. You always sound good, so I'm just trying to catch up.
All right, well, I take my cue from all the great sounding tube radio stations that check in. I sometimes, and I kid you not, and you are part of this mix. I will listen to the replay, And I swear the radios coming in through the system sound better than I do most of the time. So there's something to be said about at least trying to speak well around here to keep up with the tube radio operators. You are checked in tonight, and if it's a movie night, I hope it's a good one.
I haven't really looked under. I know we're going to eventually, but we will see. I'm watching another program right now, but anyway, after that period, you never know.
All right, very good. Thanks for checking in.
Okay, Dennis, you take care. I'll talk to you a little bit, hopefully.
Okay, we are on the directed net roll call. I wanted to say hello. Oh, you know what? I've got SWL 111. Let me get Robert checked in. He came by earlier. He always comes by too early when we have noise, and I can never get him live and direct. So, although he does do the mobile thing, he'll be 20 over. So, Robert, if you're listening, we got you checked in 111. Also, who else? Somebody else was saying already. Oh, Big Rich 6520. Hello. Good evening, OTR, and hello out that way. Hope all is well. I know you are a busy station out there doing all sorts of things. So always nice when you can jump in to the shack and tune on and turn into the old Tube Radio Network for a moment to say hello to the radio operators and shortwave listeners. Page 2 is where we are at, and I'm looking for SWL 38 in the beautiful suburb of Byron, California. And Sam, there is no mini grass, there is no down under, there is no Idaho to work the relay station tonight, but I will get you checked in. And a lot of good DX reports from the stations listening in to Hawaii, Australia, the East Coast, the West Coast, Europe, Canada, Uruguay, Paraguay. I don't know. Just it's cycle 25 and it's working. SWL 39. And Foxman, where are you at to hear Australia at night? Are you close? I can't remember if you're close by on the West Coast, if you're farther out. But yeah, the band will open up. Get that E-skip going on at nighttime. We are looking for SWL, I said 39, SWL 40.
SWL 40, checking in stereo. K6VLF.
Okay, well, the SWLs heard that, because I heard the 2-meter FM, the 11-meter AM, so yeah, you had a nice little audio boost there in true stereo. I'm actually on the internet, I am putting this out in stereo, so I'll have to see if that's actually possible. And I wouldn't want to do that, though. I could shove the receiver on the left side and the crossband on the right side, and you would truly be in stereo, but then I would have to fiddle a bunch of controls to get it back in. All right, sounding good, sir, and thanks for checking in.
No problem, but I did not hear your reply in stereo. K6VLF.
Oh, I guess I could do that. I just looked. You were pinning my audio meters here. So I'm going to hear the replay of that. You're going to sound like the voice of the fair, or the voice of the Fresno Fair coming through tonight. All right, there's a stereo for you, KB6GFD.
Fantastic. K6VLF.
A little low on frequency there, Larry.
All right, I had my no wonder I had my audio turned up too much. So 40 is in Road Dog 507 SWL 41. And let's see, 57 checked in early. I don't know if 41 checked in early. And Chrissy still got the recipe going for the brownie cookies. Butter and chocolate. I see the words butter and chocolate. You know it's going to be good.
CLF.
Let's go to SWL 42. Shortwave listener 43. SWL 44. All right, from the hill, around the hill, 360, doing a 359 degree, and then one more. I hear you, Ray. Thanks for jumping in. Over. And SWL 45, Paul and Kelly, if you are listening, I hope you've got the wood stove fired up, because it is cold here in the valley. I think it's probably a bit cold, chilly up in the hills, too. Anyway, miss you on the radio. Hope we can get things set up for you coming up. SWL 46. Shortwave listener 47.
Good evening from the Radio Lounge. This is SWL 47.
Radio Lounge, where you've got the heat going or the candles burning or something to stay warm. And thanks, you are one of the first to get on the little card hanger here in the studio, and it looks good.
Oh, you're most welcome. I want to make a comment about the similarity between using old tube radios and actually sending physical Christmas cards. I think that the frequency of both seems to parallel each other, but glad you received it, sir.
Yeah, nice stuff. So maybe that's a thing again. I notice people are putting up the C9 Christmas lights now, although they have little LED bulbs in them. Not the little icicle things, but they're going back to the ones from the 1950s and the 60s. So it's all a good thing. I'm glad you are at least staying warm tonight, and the walkie-talkie's got the batteries charging, sounding good.
Thank you, sir. And we do have the bulbs outside illuminating the home here, and no, they're not LED. We're old school and just wasting power with incandescent bulbs illuminating the home here.
That's right. You only plug so many of those in one socket. It starts kicking up the watts. The LEDs you can string about 3 miles before they pull enough power. But it's just like your tube radio. If it doesn't get warm when it's on, there's something wrong.
Yeah, and Clark Griswold said that it didn't matter. These incandescent strands. It just doesn't matter. You can plug dozens and dozens of them all in line, and there would be no danger to your home. So, by his standards, I think we're safe over here.
Indeed. Sounding good, and thanks for checking into the Old Tube Radio Network. And rightly so. Who was it? Was it Tony saying loud foot switch? It is the Heil foot switch. I've got part of it working, but it moves around on the floor, and then it sticks. So I have to physically stomp on the thing to keep it from moving. That's what you can see, man. Maybe, I'll never be a drummer. Let's see if I could do it without moving. But it's just moving all over the place. It is a pain, as we say in the Bravo uniform double tango. But I don't know. It's the lesser of evils. At least I can have, my hands free. But we'll see. There's got to be a better way. I could run Vox, but I've tried that before, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work too well. Who is in? 007 Extreme CB checking in from Cape Canaveral in the RV. So tell us what the weather is like. I don't think they're launching it. Maybe you're launching something. I don't know. Maybe you've got a rocket going up. But anyway, thanks for tuning us in. The Old Tube Radio Network, where it's a chilly 40-something degrees out the window. There is no snow, but it sounds like you are the place to be, and that is where I have it here. Yes, to the less than stellar close-up camera for 007extremecb.com. I was listening to 27025 megahertz today, and I actually heard Motormouth Mall as usual, like an S9 when the racket goes down, sounding like he's 20 feet away from the microphone, and I swear, signals that are pinning my meter. Nobody pins the meter here at 60 over unless I go to 27025, and then stations that are not 2 miles away but are 2,000 miles away are pinning the meter. So what does that, boys and girls, what does that tell you? I don't know. Well, I know it. I know what it tells me. Anyway, thanks Frank for joining us. Let's go to SWL 48. Shortwave listener 49. And Jordan, thanks you for the Christmas greetings to the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's go to SWL 50. Out to Sangertown 305 SWL 51. Oh, and the blast off is tomorrow at 8 p.m. Well, I can sometimes see from the one here on the West Coast when they send off the Starlink and some of those here, but I have to get on the roof and wait for the trail. I can't see it actually, can't hear it going up, but you can sometimes see them at night. With so that's kind of cool. SWL 51.
Question?
This is the question frequency. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, just stepped out of the room and I heard you mention Starlink. Is that going to be visible tonight?
Oh, I don't know if there's a Starlink tracker. I think there is. There were some reports of it a couple nights ago over, the city here. Apparently they launched one not too long ago. And I know at some point they were kind of moving them so they didn't reflect as much because people were getting upset. So they moved them so they don't reflect as much. But there has been some sightings, but I don't have a time for it.
Okay. Well, I think it has to have been years ago now that someone mentioned it on an OTR night, and we went out there and looked, and it was just unbelievable what it looked like. I don't know if he has control over it, to angle the satellite so that it does reflect light, and he can change it, and so it doesn't reflect light. But that one evening, thanks to someone that was, listening on the 11 meters here, we went out and saw it, and it was just spectacular. So I thought maybe they were highly visible tonight too.
I don't know. Well, some of our spotters, like Larry and some of the other guys that let us know when we have a space station coming by, should let us know, and we'll all run outside and point and up to the sky.
Got it. Okay. Well, if anyone wants to give us a heads up, it's appreciated over here. Thanks. And sorry to interrupt.
Okay, no problem. We're having some cool, crisp, clear evenings, and we don't get the fog, which will roll in. We had that little rain the other day that kind of cleared things up. Last night was unusually clear at night. Directed net roll call. We didn't hear from Dave, but I bet we're going to hear from Aaron, SWL 52.
Yeah, hello, radio, SWL 52 here, behind the golden microphone and capable stereo, but don't want to piss off the power supply. Keying up on 100 watts on both rigs is a good way to pick off the power supply.
Well, I hear you, and it's working. I listened in, was it Sunday? One of the nights that the Bozo Net was on. I think it was your first. I don't know if you've done any more, but just the one night I tuned in, and it sounded okay.
Very good. Yeah, we moved I set up a dedicated channel for that now. So youtube.com / like an @ Bozo Net. A dedicated channel for that. And starting Sunday, I'm going to start playing with some of the latency settings, and we're going to run an ultra low latency. And I watched it the other night, and I got it down to about 5 or 6 seconds. So something maybe for you to look into in the future.
All right. Well, it's always, they say, a work in progress, but it's a good item of interest. Got you checked in. Let's see, not in stereo.
Roger, roger.
Okay, we are finishing up page 2 here. Mr. Belair checked in on early at 53. All right, the recipe is concluded. Is that right? Yields 2 dozen cookies. End of recipe. All right, and thanks. I read at the end of the Dolphins. I will look for that. That's an easy way for me to find it. Thanks, Chrissy, for that. Always taking time out to give us some recipes here on the Old Tube Radio Network. I will definitely try that out. GWD Labs. Let me quickly. Let's go to the audio rack scan. Are the lights blinking where they're supposed to? Do I have output there? And I'm looking pretty good tonight. I don't think I've made any mistakes, big mistakes, yet. So GWD Labs giving me, the Saturday rack check here. I think we're doing okay. Anything else? What can we do? Now you won't hear that. I don't know. Will you hear that? I can't do that. No, that's good. I'm not going to touch anything. I was going to do something wacky, but I'm not going to because I know what will happen if I do. Page 4 is where we're going on the roll call.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR, go ahead, over.
Can I get a late check-in, please, Dennis, for 55?
55, I can do that. In fact, I think I was just going to call you, as a matter of fact, so you are right on time.
Oh, perfect, thank you.
Yeah, I just turned the page, and there you are. You are psychic.
I am.
Also get in 54, and then we'll call, and this, Phil is so psychic, he checked in tomorrow to get checked in tonight. SWL 56.
Well, maybe psychotic.
With all those little gears and steampunk things going on, you never know. Anyway, you are sounding good, and we've got you checked in. All right, let's see. Tango Romeo 21X. Hello, Joy from South Carolina checking in. Duck Hunter BYU Video Gates. Good evening to you. Thanks for joining the Old Tube Radio Network. We've got some, I hope we do. We've got some great radios going to check in after the roll call, so stay tuned for that to get a flavor of your citizen band radio back in the 1960s or 1950s. No smoke yet. Well, I don't know. There may be, people start doing their fireplaces here, Dwayne. So if I smell smoke, I want it to be kind of like cedar wood and not burning components. Let's go to SWL 57. Oh, Brown Dog Audio. I'm sorry, Brown Dog Audio. You checked in early. SWL 58. Uncle Hairball, SWL 59. Where did he go? He's probably over in the green room, where there's plenty of goodies tonight. So 59, we've got you checked in. There he is, right there. He's got a plate full of food, and it's looking good. And I see you, Bobby. If you're not by the radio when we call you, I'll make sure you get checked in if you're at a remote location. Let's go to SWL 60.
Thank you, Dennis. SWL 60 checking in. You can down to all the guys out there. SWL 60 checking in.
All right, sounding good. Yeah, a lot of people joining us tonight. I think they're coming back from the holiday parties and feeling good about life and want to come in and say hello, radio, and that's a great thing.
You got that right there, Dennis. Let it rock.
Yeah, doing a good job. I hear you just fine, and I'm putting the X in the square. Also, Jim at OTR.net, oldtuberadio.net. I think if you go to OTR.net, that is something totally different. So we're at OLDTUBERADIO.net. And that'll get you there. OTR.net will get you someplace else, but you won't be hearing any glow-in-the-dark radios. And aloha from the Big Island. We did not hear any of the good mini-grass stations out there with one foot in the ocean and one in the mobile tonight. So you are our representative from the Big Island. SWL 61 Dino checked in early. SWL 62. Yeah, I'm hoping there's no 10 ohm smoke tonight. SWL 63. Get a check in North Georgia from Butterbean. And we're heading over to Wisconsin, SWL 64. Hello, Craig. 64 checking in, and 73. 73 to 64. SWL 65. I'll get a proxy check-in for Mr. Eric. SWL 66. SWL 67, Bill, up there in Canby, I think. If you got the internet going, hello radio. If not, maybe it's going and you're watching this ex post facto. Well, look over here in, where is it? Oh, I'm in the wrong, darn it. There we go. I had the wrong thing turned on. So you'll see it right there. SWL 67 checked in. Sometimes I click on the wrong thing. SWL 68 checked in early on the video page out of New York. So, Michael, we've got you checked in. And likewise, SWL 69 Kenny from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Kenny, I hope you were not having some wacko weather there in Tulsa. A lot of reports, Tennessee, Kansas, of lots of wind and lightning and rain and things of that nature. 'Tis the season, so hope all is going well there. SWL 70. Mark checked in last week from a mobile, so I will get him proxied in. And there was a contest on it. I don't know what it was. And I preference that because I'm about to check in Stan, out of Dallas, Georgia, SWL 71, and I was listening on, it was 10 meters. You know, the first time ever. 11 meters was 11 meters during the day. I went to 10 meters, and I think that 10 meters in the late morning was busier than 11 meters. There were stations all the way up to 28,700 working whatever contest, because I never heard them say what contest it was, and the exchange was just a signal report, I think. And a signal report and when your location. So I've got to find out from Stan. What was that? What is that? Is it still going on? I guess I could check on the pages. I didn't get in. I didn't make any contacts, but boy, was it busy on 10 meters. Over to SWL 72.
72, checking in.
All right, big signal from the microphonium of Radio Boy. Miguel, you're sounding good. Right here on the Old Tube Radio Network. SWL 73. I'm totally going to proxy check in for John, Mr. Music Instructor. I will do that, and likewise a proxy in for Miss Jilly, who's probably out enjoying the musical fair. Let's go to SWL 75. Shortwave listener 76. Red Fox 1. Checking in from Rhode Island this late evening, and I will put the X in the skirt. Thanks for joining us. We've got some radios coming up. What's that? Says I look like Wink Martindale. It's the suit, right? I don't know. I saw a picture of him. He's like, what, 90? I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Let's go to SWL 77. I wish I was Wink Martindale. I can afford a good suit. SWL 77. I'll get Dennis checked in. He may be out working over at the hospital. Let's go to Wild Wildemar and beyond, SWL 78. Hello, Richard. SWL 79. SWL 80. Going to page 4. An update. They did some type of decorating thing. The limousines were all decked out with lights, and they were driving. I saw them driving around town. They had a big wreath on the front and some type of lighting going around. They looked pretty cool. So they might have been doing some free decorations or decorating places and items of interest. I never know. They're always busy. They're always doing something. Page 4, SWL 81. I've got a check-in for 81. How about SW out in the ditch banks, SWL 82?
82 checking in. Good evening, Dennis. Thanks for doing the net.
Hey, thanks for joining us here on a Saturday evening. I returned the favor on a Friday evening to join the voice you just heard there, Mr. Bones, as he's behind the microphonium of the Ditch Banks sideband net at 36 lower sideband. That begins at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here in the Central Valley of California. So join us if you can via your radio. And then there are rumors that it could be or could not be streaming at some point. So we will listen for that. Anyway, you are sounding good, and thanks for stopping by.
All right. Thank you, Dennis.
82 is JZ. We're knocking on the JZ door out there in Ohio, SWL 83. Hello to Steve. Just finished his second Cobra 2000. I'm assuming that is a radio. I mean, it should be, but I mean, maybe there's some drink now. Some drink they call it Cobra 2000. And if you just finished it, have another one. It was probably really good. Keep adjusting the levels here. A lot of check-ins tonight. I agree. Let's go to the quadruple play here. And I heard Jerry was on the Jefferson Noontime Net the other day on the Tube Radio. Man, he's putting on a big signal. Sounding good. SWL 84. I know you are recuperating for some medical items there, but it was really good to hear you back on in front of the microphone. So glad you could get in and say hello to all the gang. You had a virtual pileup going on. So we've got 84, 86, 87, and 88. Cheerios Kid. Mountain Maid Paula is taking good care of Jerry, getting him into the air chair and keeping him on the air. Thanks, Paula, for that. The Tandy Girl and the Snowy Owl all checked in. Over to SWL 90. And from the Pacific Northwest, where we may get some conditions, hello to Jake from State Farm tonight. Let's go to SWL 91. And I saw Felix over at the old radio night, checking in, making the rounds on all the good programs on a Saturday evening. Thank you, Felix, for checking in, saying hello to all the shortwave listeners and old tube radio operators. SWL 93. Shortwave listener at 95. Always have to look to see if things haven't scrolled off the screen. Now we're to, where are we going? Oh, SWL 96. Dennis checked in earlier from the Kerman Ditch Banks. And let's see if Jim is listening in. SWL 97, Boston 97. And I can get, they're saying, good check in, Jim. Okay, if he doesn't make it in, get 97 checked in, I will do that. SWL 98, hello, Tracy. Did I see you earlier? I don't know. I'll have to check. If Tracy's out there, I will get you checked in on the frequency tonight. SWL 99, Randy checked in earlier. He's doing the Anon ESSB out on 3715 or some frequency that's working for the local West Coast here. And let me fire up were it to actually be working. And I have the right space bars pressed. Let's go over to the Echo link and see if we can't find out if we're about ready for a tube on the air activation from Tony, KD4BAO, KB6GFD. Tony on the Echo link tonight.
Hey, Dennis, good evening. Please check in SWL100. Good to hear you. KD4BAO.
All right, likewise, thanks for stopping by the Old Tube Radio Network. And maybe I can put some padding or something on that foot switch, or what I need is like an accordion thing, where I just, I squeeze the bellows together. Anyway, you are sounding good, ready to fire up to get our activation for tubes on the air, and that will be coming up shortly. Thanks for joining us, KB6GFD. 100 is in. SWL 102 is standing by from Arkansas tonight. Hello, John, checking in. Got his new old stock RCA 12AQ5 in the mail today. And is hoping to get an Allied A2567. That is a nice radio. Hope to get it finished tomorrow. We occasionally have a few of those check in. I think Paul has one, and I'm not sure if Harvey has one. And when you get yours ready, hold it up. Hold it up so we can see it. Well, let's see. A20. Wait a minute. I'm gonna officially jump the gun here. I'm gonna see if I can officially jump the gun and see if we, in our Rolodex, we have an A2567. I think we do. The Allied radio. Hey, there it is. All right, I'm going to bring it up. That's not what I want. What I really want is that. A2567. Is that a Night Kid? Is that a Cobra? It has the look. Oh, I see what's going on. Let's get the proper ratio. That is a nice radio. I like that S meter. I like that big dial, too. It reminds me of the 23 Royale and the speaker in there. All right, anyway, for those listening in, we will be talking more about radios just like that in a few moments. So stay tuned, and good luck on getting the radio up and running. Should sound good. Let's go over to, I am looking. SWL 109.
Good evening, Dennis. Crawdad 109 checking in.
Okay, SWL 109. I got to get back to the shortwave listener check-in list. It's good to have kind of a quiet frequency so that you can hear me, because I can definitely hear you, and you are in a VIP. So we missed you last night, but you did get checked in on the Ditchbank sideband net. But your 109 fans are hearing you live and direct tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for checking in.
All right, thank you, Dennis, and you're sounding great tonight.
All right, we are here at 27085, the Old Tube Radio Network, getting ready for the radios. Let's go to SWL 110. SWL 111, Robert checked in earlier. SWL 113. And Jake saying he had a lot of those radios like we just showed. And then I woke up. Well, it's not a dream. We are going to have some of those radios tonight, I hope, on the Old Tube Radio Network. This is why we are here. It is why we are here, to make sure that we get some radios out and on the air. Let's go to SWL 114.
114, checking in.
Hello, Wayne. The X is in the square. The Cobra's sounding good. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for doing the net, Dennis.
All right, to my pleasure. Where else would I have an excuse to wear such fine clothing as what I have on. Let's go to shortwave listener 128. And that requires me to go over to the other device here where the mouse is not working and refresh the screen to see if indeed Fairfax, Virginia is or has been in the building tonight. It looks like not yet. So I will get, I've got John checked in. He may have a early call, which he often does. And keep in mind if he does stop by. Let's go to SWL 131. Who's joining us? Who's up in the balcony? Just coming in. Yellow Springs, Ohio. Thanks for stopping by. I think you left something here last week. Go check the old tube radio Lost and Found. You may have something. I think they said it would belong to you. San Pedro, California. Out there near the the Queen Mary. I don't know. I just left Long Beach as the Queen Mary, but San Pedro is where you guys are close. The unknown SWL is running around with the paper bag and the rubber ducky. SWL 133. Shortwave listener 135.
SWL 135, checking in mobile.
Checking in mobile, going mobile yet again. I like that. All right, I've got you the X and the square, and you're probably about 5 minutes away from being on the other list.
Okie dokie.
Hey, Cliff, is the heater on?
Not right now. The radio's actually providing heat, believe it or not.
Okay, just wondered.
Yeah, if you're going to go mobile on a winter's evening in the Central Valley of California, it's good to get the tube radio that has at least, 7 tubes, 9 tubes, maybe get 2 of them. Just, have one as a backup and turn that thing on. 135 is in with a teaser. We'll have some mobile radio coming up, mobile tube radio, the good kind. SWL 137. Shortwave listener 145. Tony checked in after a nice, I guess, long, relaxing, but, good to be home trip to the coast and elsewhere. SWL 147. I got Neil checked in earlier when he was out and about on the screen. Thanks, Neil, for joining us. Bobby was also there. I don't know if he's by the microphonium or not. SWL 188.
Ethan Tom Dennis, 188 checking in.
All right, checking in and sounding good doing it. Thanks for joining us. And are you hearing, I don't know if you're listening on the beam or not, are you hearing anything coming in tonight?
I was a little bit earlier. I just walked back out here right now. I did have Australia coming in about an hour ago.
Okay, so that's a gray line thing. I don't know. I haven't really heard. And sometimes you can hear the band, the noise level change, and we're going to get some E-skip tonight. So we'll just stand by and find out. Thanks for joining us tonight.
10-4, evening time.
Up the hill, SWL 195. Jim, the Course Gold Starliner, checking in moments ago, and a call for Jeff, SWL 226. Jeff is often up at the high altitudes, being a great 10-5 station, sometimes relaying stations from down in the South Valley, Visalia, all the way up to the mountains in Santa Cruz, and who knows, he's got a good station there. Anybody else that would like to say hello radio before we jump over to the tubes? All right, I'm going to take a quick pause, move some clip leads and pull some levers, and stir the cauldron, boil, toil and trouble, add the, I have to check the recipe, add the chocolate chips and the butter, and we will be right back in a minute or two with your tube radios on the Old Tube Radio Network. Catch you in a little bit. All right, don't look now, but you might be listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Yeah, the Old Tube Radio Network. That would be, well, that would be you and you and you and me and everybody else that jumps in here tonight on oldtuberadio.net, the video link, channel 1127-085, wherever you might be. And the sound of the veritable Mud Duck net control here tonight, but we will have some non-Mud Duck stations checking in with their tube radios, and OTR is standing by. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. I have to put in, I will not forget. What are we doing tonight on the, we have a pen? Oh, we have a, and you gave it to me already, we have a greenie. I think I did this before, but it's not. We have one of the things that every pocket, one of the devices, one of the items of interest, looking for the less than stellar camera here, that every pocket protector, every pocket should have. There it is, made by X-Lite, and this is a slotted, but I have the greenie ready to go into the pocket protector tonight. So let me put that. I am ready. So if something breaks, I'm ready to do a little peeking and tweaking. All right, the Old Tube Radio Network is standing by for your radio check-ins.
135 mobile, 135 mobile.
All right, I hear 135. Do not go away. You will be the first radio. And who was the other station?
Yeah, me for stream information.
Oh, you for stream information. All right, go ahead with the stream information.
Okay. The way I end up doing it on the oldtuberadio.net, when you do this part of the show, there's a double audio stream. You have to mute one of them. But normally, both are loud. One's a little behind the other. Well, when I mute one, the second one is way low in volume. So can you check that?
Okay, because I'm not sure. And it says right on the page, it says you might want to mute one of your audio streams when you have video displayed. So I think some browsers will start both the video, which is a separate audio that's coming from YouTube, and it will start the stream audio. So in theory, the way I'm running this, and I don't want to get a big long detailed thing, both of those, I'm feeding both of those the same audio, the same feed at the same level, and the level at the Orban at minus 19 LKFS level, something about full scale. However, when YouTube takes the audio and turns it around, they do something to it. So that may be where the issue is. I may not be able to fix that because one of them is a return loop out of YouTube, if that makes any sense.
Okay, I'll check on my end. See ya. Thank you. Warm up, Cliff. Bye.
All right, but that is a good thing to mention, and it says, and that's a possible. Some browsers may actually start both streams. I have it set so that shouldn't happen, but sometimes it doesn't. That's why we have the little display or the little warning, and then the little click on it says display audio controls, and that'll open up the audio thing that you can actually mute the audio. All right, speaking of audio and old tube radios, heading over to Mr. Green Arrow in his Merry Oldsmobile, or something like it. Over.
Or something like it. I hope I'm holding the mic properly. This isn't the greatest mic in the world. Oh, I forgot to look at what it was, too. Well, let's get the radio out of the way. Let's see, this is SWL 135 on a radio from Bristol, Indiana. This is the Demco Travelier. And it is currently in the mobile configuration, which I think is the way it was intended to be. let's see, there are 12 tubes, but all 23 channels, crystal control transmit and VFO receive. And there is actually a spot on this thing. I couldn't find it. It's called Calibrate. I figured out it really does. There is a way to spot your received channel. Back to you.
Back to me in the studio. And somewhere out there in Radioland, there is a Demco bell ringing. And it's been a while since we had any Demcos checking in, and hopefully we're getting a little tinkle. Speaking of which, that goes with our stream, with our chat window. So hopefully we have, this is an inside joke for you, hopefully you have a little tinkle of the Demco bell going on. All right, with that said, a picture of the radio nestled snug in its radio room, the Demco Travelier, with a couple of extra items. But what we are hearing is that Demco Travelier doing what it does best, living up to its name and coming from the mobile radio. So it may not have the power supply, and it may not have the Demco modulator. So we'll talk more about that, but it is sounding good. Over.
Oh, good. I'm glad it has enough audio at least to make it out there. You are flashing my modulation light, and I am flashing the modulation light. The question is, which one of us is doing it more? And I think you might be. Hello. Yeah, this doesn't have a lot of audio in it. It is the, if as you described, you've got my picture up there. This is Sonotone CM30, as Charlie Mike -30 Sonotone, handheld, unamplified, plastic microphone. Back to you.
It's a good-looking microphone. It really has sort of a mid-century modern look to it. So it goes with the radio. It is the video. The picture shows it plugged into the modulator, and then the modulator plugged into the rig. So obviously that microphone is now directly into the mic jack on the Travelier, and then you must have a connecting cable. I'm assuming you don't need the other power supply box. So is there yet a separate cable to go to your DC source, Ryan?
Oh, yeah. Your basic red and black wire. In the case of my mobile configurations, they all use a T connector. All the ham radios, all the CBs, all that, I put T connectors on everything. And it works just fine. Yeah, the mic is going straight into the front of the radio. Because I don't have Harvey said something about there might be a DC version of the modulator, but I do not have that. So this is just straight on audio into the radio.
Okay, a DC version. I've never heard of that. I suppose, depending on how they're doing it, you might be able to convert it to a DC version. It might be interesting. I mean, you've got plenty of audio, but it might be interesting to, to have a little boost in the mobile. But were you traveling with your Travelier? I would say yes. But the way you're checking and displaying, it is working just fine. In fact, the next transmission I'll put up the S meter. I will put up the Orban loudness meter, which is doing a good job, and I might even go ahead and try and do a frequency check as well. I'm just my attention is going over to the chat window, and 23 Skidoo. I think you're almost correct on that spelling of the disease. I think you've spelled it sideways, so rearrange the letters and you will probably get it correct. Okay, back to our mobile radio, our unit. Our base. This is, how should I do this? This is OTR base to mobile unit 1. Go ahead.
Okay, this is mobile unit 1 to OTR base. Yeah, it's hard to get used to this microphone. It has the button is on top of the microphone. I'm sure you're tuning me in somewhere by now. Yeah, let me know if I'm, I think you said earlier I was low in frequency. I can't remember. And yes, this vibrator makes an awful lot of racket here in the mobile. And Oh, let's see. The ambience though is really cool in here. I'm parked currently, and those lights that light up the dials really illuminate the inside of the vehicle here very nicely. I don't even need any extra light unless I want to actually read the front of the radio. Oh, and I wanted to mention also quickly that the meter, at least for me, works upside down. Again, if you've got that picture, you'll see the meter in the middle, and 0 is at the top of the meter, and 40 over is at the bottom. And you're hitting me 20 over, so right near the bottom of the meter. Back to you.
All right, we have the picture right there, and I'll have you take another transmission because I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to do the frequency check because I was kind of busy putting the pictures up and putting your S meter up and your modulation meter up, and everything is looking well. And I see what you say about the two sort of smiley or frowny face channel selectors. Unlike the tram, you know, that big TR27C that's got the tiny little window, this does have a nice little lighted display. So you have a separate, and that is so strange, a separate transmit and receive for your mobile radio. So let's go into a mobile and make it difficult. Does it have, I'm looking to see if it's got a crystal where you could just kind of switch to something, which would make sense for a mobile. Like, oh, I don't want to fool with this. I'm just going to click into the channel we use. I don't see one.
No, there's no external crystal plug-in, but yeah, there are. Let me get the light. If you look, the knob on the lower far right, it says calibrate and tune. That's where I am now, is on tune. And then you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I wanted to count how many. There's 4. You can have pre-selected receive channels. So, like, you know, if you're on the road and there's certain channels you hit all the time, you can have those 4 channels wherever you want for receive. I don't remember. You'll probably have to ask Harvey. I can't remember if there are little tuners that are in there that allow you to tune to it, like the Courier did, or if they are crystal. I don't know if there's extra crystals in there for the receive channels, but you get 4 set receive channels, which I think if I was trying to do this while I was actually driving, would be more convenient than trying to dial you in on the VFO. Back to you.
All right, well, that's good. That's somebody was thinking there. It seems like you'd really want to have, especially in how these were supposed to be used. You'd be on a channel and just have a separate thing, but you could tune in, turn on, turn up, get down, get up, anywhere on the Travelair Demco. All right, and again, I didn't, because your information was kind of important, I didn't click over to the lower sideband to lose any of that. So, okay, this time, this transmission will be the, where are you at on frequency? So go ahead.
Got me tuned in there, Dennis?
Yes, I do. You are, I think this is what we had. I didn't hear because I tuned in late, but I didn't get to the first key up, but you are 27084, pretty close to right on the 084 between upper and lower sideband and the 0 beat, which is not a problem. Actually, it would sound, if there was skip going on, it would sound good. We'd have a little heterodyne going on.
Okay, but wow, a KC low, and you're still getting me okay?
Oh yeah, I'm on 15. I'm on really wide receive. If I was on the Regency Imperial, which has a very narrow receiver on AM, I might have to use the Delta tune, but I really don't notice much difference on a KC because I think I'm running either a 9 or a 15 filter on here. So all is well.
Okay. Well, I better get out of here before they come to take me away. So I'm going to head back to the barn. See ya.
All right, thanks for bringing the radio by. The Demco Travelier. Let me click on the photo and see if it says anything. 1963 to 1965 was the year you could probably buy this brand new from Demco, their mobile version of their other radios. So if you bought the base, they would encourage you to buy the Travelier to go along with the Satellite or the Satellite Plus. The mic wiring is 1 is audio, 2 is ground, and 3 is push to talk. So not much worry about that. And your microphone is sounding good. Thanks for bringing it by.
Oh, one more quick observation.
This is the quick observation frequency. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier today when I was talking to you, I'm having trouble with the receive audio. The radio is currently in the passenger seat facing me, and guess where the speaker on this thing is? It's on the right side, so the speaker's actually facing into the seat back. So that's what was taking a lot of my audio away. So what I did is I hooked up, it has a jack for an external speaker in the back, and I hooked up the Demco Satellite external speaker so I can hear everybody really well now. Just thought I'd let you know I kind of solved that problem.
All right, very good. And I wonder if Demco actually made or had an external speaker for that radio, or I know they had them for the big radios. It would make sense. They have, like you said, there's a plug to have the external speaker. And they would probably know that in theory you'd mount it, well, maybe not. You would mount it somewhere in the center, meaning the speaker would be pointing out towards the passenger side. Or maybe they thought, well, most people would have it all the way to the left side somehow. And so the speaker would be pointing into you. Obviously, you probably don't want it firing up. Firing down might be okay. And my guess is when you start kind of cramming everything into a minuscule box, it's like, where are we going to put the speaker? So it goes where it goes, but it's working well, and a nice check-in. I think you will be pleased when you heard the playback on the quality of the audio from a microphonium that looks like, but it sounds pretty good without any preamplification and a good signal as well. So good job. Over.
Yeah, it's a pretty dinky handheld microphone, but yeah, to answer your question, and you can ask Harvey this, Harvey's got the matching Travelier external speaker, the only one I've ever seen. And I gotta tell you, except for the big word Travelier on it, it looks identical to the Demco Satellite external speaker. Roger?
Okay, and that would make a sense from a manufacturing standpoint, I would think. Just keep it the same size or make it fit somewhere, because you don't want it to be, if you're in the vehicle, you don't want it to be too large. And let's see, I'm making an adjustment here, folks. Why is my audio low? Hello, test radio? All right. I'm making an audio, let me get back to the REA meter. All right, making an audio adjustment on my rig, so I can sound as good as the Demco. All right, sounds good. You know, I have too many controls to adjust, and often I might hit the wrong one. Now, the control that needs no adjustment is the one that runs out to Studio B over there for the jingle singers to do what they do best here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
And we are listening for any and all check-ins, looking for radio number 2.
and we are home. SWL 135,000.
All right, and your home signal strength is only about a half an S unit less than your portable area, so you're good either way.
Cool. Hey, Harvey, wake up.
And let's see, hello to way out there in New York. I got you proxied, but I had a feeling that you might come in live and direct. SWL 41 Road Dog 507. We will get you checked in on the list. And thanks for jumping in and joining us here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
I'm awake.
You sound awake.
I was in the other room. Excuse me. I was in the other room, listening on the stream. Yeah, Cliff sounded just fine. And yes, I've got the all chrome, except for the speaker grill, Traveler speaker. Goes with my Traveler. There's two models of the Traveler. There's, I think, 1 and 2, Series 1, Series 2. Can't remember what the difference is, but I have the modulator with a chrome case on it. Somebody was selling it, and I can't believe I got it for the price I did, and it had a chrome case. So everything's chrome. The transceiver, the power supply, the speaker. I have a chrome case meter, one of the meters, and I can't remember which one it is. It's either the Wavelizer or the Vandalizer meter, one of those. They're all chrome, so it looks pretty good. I don't have a Browning a Golden Eagle Mark II train, but I've got the Traveler train.
Yeah, you could get the right radio if you need 3 or 4 pieces. What's it? A Buddy could do that too. The Buddy bass. We have the separate speaker and everything. Get that going. Sounds good. I want to do another SWL check-in here, and I had you proxied in as well. Not you, Harvey, but you being, if I can find page 4 here. John out in Fairfax, Virginia, so I'll take the proxy off and put an a X in the square as he's checking in. Hey there! As he's checking in on the, I don't know, computer problems, at least logging into something. But we hear you and I see you, and I got you checked in, John SWL 128. Let's see. Well, if you did a full train on the Mark II, what was it? 5 pieces? 4 pieces? It was a lot of stuff.
The transmitter, the receiver, the AM transmitter, the AM SSD receiver, the sideband receiver, the trans adapter, and the 180/170 Linear, depending on which one. The 180 that matches the older radios would work. I've got one sitting above here. It looks pretty nice, and it would go with the Mark II. So yeah, quite a few pieces.
And I'm sure Browning was glad for you to have them all.
Oh yeah. Well, you can also get the external speaker. That would work with a Mark II. Yeah, the external speaker with the eagle on it, that would work. So another piece to go with it.
All right, for those on the video chat, speaking of mobile, here is, and this comes from, I'm trying to think, Larry Cohen. And it's a shot of his 61 Impala, and he's got the mobile radio mounted in the center. It's a Courier 1M, so it's typical size of, the radio that you would mount, and you can see that it takes up a lot of space, but you can do it probably to a metal dashboard. You mount the radio, and you hope that and see, that speaker's right in the front. So you hope the speaker's not at the top. And then you have the microphonium on the dashboard, and you are good to go. You turn it on, and do most of those radios needed a vibrator, right, Harvey, where it would buzz a little bit so it would convert the voltage the right way?
Some would vibrate, others didn't. I think, and I'm not absolutely sure, but if you had a vibrator and a couple of transistors, it didn't vibrate. But if you didn't have the transistors, but you had this weird coil in the back, that coil would vibrate a bit, so you'd have that buzzing sound.
Yeah, I ran my Imperial Mobile a couple times, and it vibrated, but it seemed like once you got talking and had the radio up, you didn't hear it that much. And then I ran the Yaesu FT101 Mobile, but you had to install a kit, and it had the two transistors. I guess they call it DC to DC conversion or something. And I know the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A mentions that it has two transistors, and I'm assuming that's probably what they're for.
Correct. I believe that is. Now, the biggest radio I ran in my car was the Heathkit Cheyenne Comanche with DC power supply. I ran that in my car, and they made a mobile mounting bracket for it where you bolted the two radios together, the transmitter and the receiver, and it had this bracket, and it actually bolted, I think, to the floor, and it would angle up, and on top of that, if it was forward enough, you had the matching speaker that would go with it, and I ran that in my car.
All right, and they were actually made for a mobile, boat anchor mobile. In fact, because you mentioned it, I'll put a picture up for it, and there's the boat anchor to go with it. There is, and I always seem to mess this up, and that's not a Zenith radio. Let me go back, but I had a picture of okay, let's go back. That's why I need about 4 screens here. There's the Cheyenne. Oh, that's the Apache. I'm sorry. So you had the Cheyenne, and you didn't have the Apache, right?
No, the Cheyenne and Comanche, they were made to go together. One's a transmitter, one's a receiver. And this I ran way back in the mid-'70s in my AMC Gremlin. How's that? And I would go down the street, and I'd be talking, I'd look either side and watch all the TVI on the TVs in the neighborhood, because that would put out about 100 watts. Anyway, when I got rid of the radio, because I had to, I got rid of both the AC and DC power supplies. But, recently, last 10, 12, 15 years, I picked up another set with the AC power supply and the mobile bracket and all that stuff, speaker. I just don't have the DC bracket, and I'm not gonna, or the DC power supply. I have decided I do not want to run that mobile. But anyway, I did it one time, and it would talk, but then no one else could sit in the car.
Yeah, it's 2 big radios there, probably 100 pounds attached, or if not attached, sitting on something so that it could work. But I know it was the W6AM, it was Don Wallace down in Southern California, used to run a kilowatt mobile with, I'm not sure what he had, a Collins radio or something like that. So it can be done. Of course, today they do it now, and they're running 10 or 20,000 watts mobile on the shootouts. Okay, the Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark. We do have time for your radio check-in tonight. Were you to have one? I know a lot of people are out enjoying like the company Christmas parties or your friends' Christmas celebration. We've got some of you checked in as you came in. Some of you have things to do tomorrow, so you're jumping out early. So good night to you. I think it was Mud Bucket said he's leaving, so thanks for joining us. The Jingle Singers are here, though. I don't think we do the eggnog until the week prior to Christmas. So everyone seems to be doing well, and so we'll go over there for a little musical interlude, and then we'll look for radio. Is it number 2? I don't know. We'll look for any radios here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. The friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
Might as well make me two.
All right, jump into the air chair. There was a question from Frank. Lost and found. Not found. Copied the manuals that transmitted. Where do I find the missing item? I'm not sure. Those were for what radio? And that is coming off. That's coming off the site from .com, and you know who handles that is Rob, and I've not talked to Rob. Rob would be the guy I'm going to have to talk to see if there's a missing page that's somewhere, or there's another manual that we don't have that were we to try and get you to download it, it's just not there. So I'm not going to have the proper answer on that question. Although, you know, the internet is a wonderful place. Sometimes you can find things that you thought not possible. So maybe the missing item is available somewhere out there on the Universal Media. Somewhere out there on the Universal Media NetWeb. All right, Harvey. As soon as my foot switch stops transmitting, you can go ahead. Over.
Okay. The Golden Beagle R68T68 by Browning Laboratories with the custom D104 with the Browning medallion on the back. A manual for what? Radio.
Yeah, you know, Frank, refresh the memory on what it was you're looking for. I could probably go back on last week's chat, but it would take me a while, and I don't remember. And we might be able to find it's in this Sam's PhotoFax CB on this page. So were you to actually find one of those, or be able to go online and buy one, you'd have not only, you know, some wording, but you'd have the schematics and some other stuff as well. So refresh our tube radio memories on what it is that's missing and that you need, and we might be able to come up with something. Radio 2, let me grab the picture here, the Browning Golden. That's the Beagle, not the Bagel, Ryan.
Yes, this is the Beagle. This is the one with the floppy ears. Yeah, the Bagel is sitting next to it over there, just to the right of it, or to its left. Anyway, what was the problem with whatever radio he had?
Okay. The Robin T123 Bravo. That's right. I think I had referred him originally to a T123, and that 123 and 123B are pretty different. I'm sure. So the T123B should be easy to find because that's going to be the Panasonic chassis. And a parts list, if there's a parts list for that.
T123B is not in Sam's.
Uh-huh.
They did put out their own little owner's manual with schematic. I don't know if voltages and such are there, and it is small. It's magnifying glass small, but I think it's the same as the T-Berry, the 23-channel T-Berry. The Model T that's 23 channels. That's in Sam's PhotoFact, and that's really, really close. I think the internals are the same, with the exception of some of the light bulbs and neon lights, etc. But I think I've used the T-Berry schematic for a Robin if I wasn't too sure of what I was replacing or looking at. It seemed to work well. So you might try that. And the schematic for the 23-channel T-Berry Model T is in Sam's and on CB Tricks, I believe. If you look it up, I think you might be able to get a schematic that you can view through that. Some are on there, some are not. I can check though right now.
Okay, and John says it's probably in Sam's 54, and someone else said CB Tricks. And I guess the caveat here, if you're looking for a parts list, you're doing schematic, it's probably the same. But if you're looking for a parts list, and we know just from looking at the fronts of the radios, some of those had, like the Robin had 5 panel lights, where some of them only had 2. So if you're looking for certain panel lights or something like that, you'd physically probably want to have a picture of both radios in front of you to see if, they're using the same light bulbs, or they're in the same position, or they're doing the same stuff. They're just moving in a different area on the radio, rather than, a modulation light bulb cover, isn't the same on a T-Berry as it is on the Robin, but it's the same schematic. It's the same internal thing, but when they bring it out to the front, it's actually a different part.
Hey, Roger. The Model T is sitting here on the floor. I just spotted it. The Robin has an extra knob on it. Let me see which one it is. Let's see, we have volume squelch, fine-tuned, and I think that says RF gain. Hang on, I gotta lock the mic on here.
This is the lock the mic on frequency.
Yeah, RF gain. The T-Berry does not have the RF gain. It's got transmit light, receive light, mod light. The T-Berry has 5, Robin's got 5 lights. So, cosmetically, it's about saying the only difference is no RF gain control. But that's a simple thing. It's just a pot, and they go into the RF section and just put that in there. And the T-Berry's just wide open. Anyway, that's what I use for it. And that's in book number... come back here. Let me look. I gotta go back one. It doesn't say. But I know it's in Sam. Doesn't say that it is, but I know it is. But the schematic is on CB Tricks. Service manual, let me see what it is. Come here. See if it turns out to be a Sam. No, it's the actual service manual to the T-Berry. So it is in Sam somewhere. I'll look that up in a second for you and get back.
Okay, yeah, on the John, the Spitfire Mark II is pretty the same. I'm going to do a hot switch in a picture between the Robin T123B and the T-Berry 23 channel radio. See if I can do that here. And you'll be able to see that if you're looking at internal parts, I think you're okay. If you're looking at external parts, and let me jump here. The S meter, yeah, the knobs are certainly different. So that would be the caveat. You know, a switch is a switch, probably. Rocker switches are the same. But if you're looking for the S meter, it might fit. They have the different S meter. But if you're looking for the specific knobs, I don't know if they'd have a part or not. So, yeah, schematic-wise, I don't think you can go wrong getting a Panasonic 2 chassis if you're looking for, you know, what's the value of this component. If you're looking for physical pieces and parts, definitely going to be different. All right. Thanks, Harvey, for that. I want to say hello to, back to the radio. Albert is in, 5:55. Albert, don't go away. I'm going to bring up, I will try and fire up the link up to you guys in Squamish. So if you're by the radio, you got the radios turned on, we might be able to hear you because the frequency is nice. Frequency is nice and clear. So do not go away. Over. Or get the radios fired up. Speaking of fired up, I think the Jingle Singers are still fired up.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
Yes, book 54.
Book 54, where are you? Yes. You know, I'm starting to hear that bubbling on the frequency, like we might have some skip coming in. All right, yeah, he says he's looking for capacitor values, so I bet those would be fairly similar on the schematics between the radios.
Roger. Ceramic or electrolytic?
Well, that's interesting. Some of them had, you know, the range expanded didn't. Some had light bulbs coming out, but I don't know.
Okay.
Because we're trying to feed the fish. Let me, while I'm here, and I've got the item fired up. It just came up. It looks like it's working. We're going to go over to the... And I think I just missed you guys. I think I missed your transmission. So let me go back in. We're going to bring up some audio on the link up to Squamish. Put on the background. And I know there's a bit of delay, so Albert and the gang, we're listening 27085 up from your area. It looks like it's a nice clear evening. So if you dare, take a transmission and we'll get you officially checked in. As they say, what do they say? Worldwide on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Hey, Dennis, 428, checking in my 23-channel EDS communications receiver. Thank you for doing this. I'd like to wave a hand to everybody out there listening, and thank you again, Dennis. I'll pass it back to you. 73s, and I'll be standing by.
All right, as always, sounding good, looking good on the scope. You guys have, I thought we had quiet frequency up there. I'm going to narrow up the bandwidth so you can see the entire 27 megacycle band.
Hello, OTR. It's Albert, 256. I got my mobile and my base here. Just want to say hello to Levon, say hello to Dennis and Dwayne. You guys all have a good night. And my hockey team won tonight, so I'm happy. Good evening, all.
All right. A time for celebration when the hockey team wins. You guys, we're looking at the band scope up in Squamish tonight. You guys are the only show going besides some interference and some other little birdies coming down the thing. So you're sounding good and representing the area well here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for joining us at 27085 out in British Columbia, the Old Tube Radio Network. And Mitch, 23 Skidoo, it's not only Pop Rocks, it's the, what was those things they called fizzies? They're putting the fizzies in the 7-Up. So they're making a big mess. All right, 428, doing a good job tonight. All right, I'm going to do some counting and amounting. I'll take a few more minutes to see if we have any more local check-ins tonight. We had a lot of SWL check-ins and a lot of people joining us on the video chat, which is a good thing. The Jingle Singers will join us one more time, and I'll be back with the results of the evening's activities here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
Hey, Dennis, did he say any? I know you're counting and mounting, but you can do 12 things at once. Did he seem to indicate it might be those oil-filled caps in the power supply that blow in those radios?
Frank, now there's a question for you. I don't know if you've heard Harvey about which electrolytic. He says they definitely are the electrolytics. So some form of electrolytics anyway.
Okay, if he's sure it's electrolytic, let me get the book out. I can give them. They're all at either 350 or 450 volts in that radio. Let me get the book out and see what it is.
Roger, over.
Well, if he's listening, if it's the canister cap, it's a 3-section 47, 47, 47 at 350. Then there's another one up in the beginning of the power supply in with the diodes. It's diodes. So off to the side, that's a 47 at 350. Then all the smaller ones, there are 3 that are 1 at 160, a 10 at 305, I don't know why, a 4.7 at 350, and I'm guessing that's around the modulator, and a 10 at 16. I'll check that 4.7 at 350, see where it is.
I was just about to yell bingo with all those numbers.
If he needs me to repeat it, ask him and I'll repeat it.
Okay, otherwise, you have been recorded for posterity on the Old Tube Radio Network YouTube video.
Usually I record my posterior, but that's close enough.
All right, and let's see. He's copied the 47, 47, 47, 350, 10 at 350. Okay.
A bunch of small ones at 160, 3 of them. 10 at 16, 4.7 at 350, and a 10 at 305. I think that's probably a misprint, but it's there.
So basically, it's that one that blows up that sounds like a cannon. When you go in there to find what the value is, you can't tell, right?
Yeah, those are the oil-filled ones in the power supply near the diode. Either a .0047 or 005 at 600, or maybe, and then there's another one that's a .1 or .01 at 600. Then way off to the side, the small one that's either a .1 at 400, something like that. They're not really, those other ones don't go usually. But there's 2 in with the diode that usually go. I replace them automatically, and if I have time, I replace all of them. There is one hiding in with the final section, way underneath by the tube. That one almost never goes, so I leave it alone. Plus another one way off to the opposite side on the back of the chassis underneath, and I leave that one alone. But there are 3 that I usually do, and they're around the diode.
I am just looking on the FCC how to use a CB radio here before we go tonight, and checking a few things. They're talking about repairing. It says repairs should be made only by someone thoroughly familiar with transmitting equipment and who has the necessary facilities and test equipment. Most equipment dealers supply this kind of service or can advise you where to get it. You may make repairs yourself if you have the necessary technical knowledge. However, in every case, after making repairs or adjustments which may affect the proper operation of your set, have your set checked out by an FCC licensed commercial operator of the proper grade. Okay, well, I don't know where you find that. And it is recommended that your transceiver be checked every 6 months by a competent serviceman to make sure it's working properly. So I'm sure I'm due for a couple of 6-month checkups here.
Okay, one of those is a .0022, and 003 would work, or probably a 004. And the other one's a .1. It doesn't list the voltage, but it should be 600 volts. And one's kind of hidden underneath the other, probably, or they're along, one's in front of the other. But one's probably a .1, and the other one .00 something. And they're the ones that blow.
And
besides electrolytic.
And as we say in the biz, when it blows, it really blows. All right. Well, before somebody thinks we have a spy clandestine number station going on here, this is indeed the Old Tube Radio Network. Real radios glowing in the dark, of which there were a pair tonight. Let me have the jingle singers help me out here, and we'll get everybody safely home tonight.
This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. It's time now for the current OTR totals.
Current and final totals. I want to mention that we are on the new 8-week roster, and where was that nice little thing here? Gary is SWL28 is the Sacramento, the new 00. So he gets the 2-for-1 coupon for the next throughout the end of the year. I think this goes up through the end of January. before we do that. SWLs tonight, we have a total of 75, 20 on page 1, 15 on page 2, 19 on page 3, 21 on page 4. But we all know you don't have to be on any list, have any numbers, wear a funny hat, secret handshake, or anything like that. To come in, take a transmission, say hello radio, or do otherwise on the old Tube Radio Network. However, if you've got a tube radio, wherever you might be, we'd like to hear from you. If you hear the beaconing mud duck, there it is, the beaconing mud duck of the old Tube Radio Network coming your way. I almost picked up the M&Ms. I'm going to have those M&Ms after the program here. Then join us, won't you, with your Tube Radio. Speaking of which, there were 2 tonight, the Demco Travelair Mobile, connected to the 12-volt source on the random automobile with a mobile antenna and working on its own accord, or working from the accord, and doing what it does best. Made for the mobile, and it worked pretty good. Thanks, Cliff, for that. Our second mobile radio of the month. And from the west side, the R68T68, the Browning to earn the name, not the Eagle, but the Golden Eagle, the Mark I or the Mark None. Sounding good. A lot of people's favorite Browning. If you count them, there are many from which to choose. Other than that, the weather is getting kind of funky all the way around. I know there's lots of wind and rain and lightning and stuff like that. So wherever you are, stay safe. If you got some more Christmas functions and parties to attend to, if you need a designated driver, teach them how to use the CB radio. So just in case you don't need them, at least they can grab a microphone and call up React. Good night, everybody. Harvey, as always, thanks for your information. And we will say, is it 72 plus 1 here on the old Tube Radio Network? Oh, and I wanted to mention, thank you, Chrissy, for the recipe. It is in the chat window. So bring up the video, which we'll replay here at any point. And it is near the first half of the net, off to the side, for the brownie cookies with nuts. And I've got parchment paper. I've got that. 10 minutes, cooling rack, yields 24 cookies. It'll be perfect for your gift giving and holiday eating pleasure. Again, thanks, Chrissy, for the recipes. Good night, everybody.
I wish she said browning cookies. Brownie cookies. Okie dokie. Alrighty. Catch you next week.
All right, 73, and I'm going to jump out of the air chair. I'm going to have my M&Ms. I'm going to read up a little bit more on how to use my CB radio, and I will be ready to go next time I sit in the air chair. Good night, everybody.
Good show, Dennis.
All right. I'm going to take 1 minute before I cut the receiver here, swap the antenna, and head down to 40 meters just to see if the band is even open. Make sure I got the right antenna here. See what we got. It's unusually quiet. I don't even hear. Yeah, we got some broadcast stations.
In that area. And really, until it captured some of
At 7285 on AM.
Thank you very much. That's the BBC's Yolande Nell talking to us live from Jerusalem. Meanwhile, the United States has a...
All right, so 7285. Back to our sideband. I'm surprised. I thought there was a contest going on. None of the DX guys at 190 or 150. There's probably some, probably a ton of FT8 going on, FT4. The digital, those digital things going. Any CW guys below that? Oh my. Pretty fast. There's a V or something, right? Probably doing some contesting. All right, well that's disappointing. That is... I'm sus... Just barely coming at 71, 72. Not like I thought for Saturday evening here. All right, we'll take one more minute. We'll take one more minute and head a little bit locally to 75 meters on the same antenna. SWLing a little bit. See what we got. See what we got. Any wideband audio guys tonight? A lot of noise. Maybe 3.
Well, the first one I hit, it's been years now.
3816.
Coming back from Florida back to Wisconsin, I was right in frickin' Chicago, man, on the bypass. I mean, it's like 6 lanes wide there. You know what I'm saying?
So the band is long. Obviously, those guys are not in California. 3845 is quiet. 62.5 is quiet. The local AM is quiet. There should be some locals on 90. They're quiet. So, see, there's something going on tonight. Everybody is out having their eggnog. Or else my antenna has fallen down. That's probably it. Yeah, these signals should be booming.
Yeah, you know, a little outdated.
Looking for some calls. 3892.
QPC.
8. All these 8 calls. So the band, this is 75 meters, 8 calls coming in. So the band is just long. There's the guys on 16, John. There we go.
we're getting better, man. We look completely, our team's all rookies.
I know you said delay, so it's going to be a little hard to match it.
Brand new quarterback. And in October, we looked just completely horrible. We couldn't do anything right. Now all of a sudden, man.
And I'm running a 40-80 meter trap dipole, so about 15 feet off the roof. Okay, we'll do before we get out of here. 3920, pretty noisy. The band's got a lot of noise tonight. Nobody up at the top. So yeah, I think it's time for some Ovaltine and a piece of toast. Or a big antenna.
A little box, a little window next to the left of column.
It's time to get that Marconi.
Okay, country prefix. Roger.
30.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Some net on 3777.8. Nobody local tonight. Okay, one quickie here on 20. See if I can hear any speck of a lot of noise there too. Any speck of FT8 on 20 meters. Nothing. All right. That's enough radio for me tonight. Good night. I'll catch you later, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. I got some M&Ms that are waiting for me.